Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the impending market crash that is likely coming on Thursday night and on Friday because of these brand new dark matter players that are very likely to come out on Friday. So last year, the week of the All-Star break, which is the same week as we're coming up on right now, the first dark matters of the year dropped in packs. We had a dark matter Tracy McGrady, dark matter Kobe Bryant, and a dark matter Russell Westbrook, which were the first dark matters of the year. Really good pack drop, and it dropped the market relatively significantly for all these other top cards, Galaxy Opals and stuff, because it showed that all these dark matters are coming new, next level, high tier cards with more Hall of Fame badges, better badges, things like that, better stats as well. And I think the same thing is going to happen this year, and I think it's even more so this year because of the fact that 2K has already started changing SIGs and animations on cards. Guys like Dirk Nowitzki got new SIGs, a new release. Vince Carter, same thing. Scottie Pippen, better SIGs. A lot of these top cards, James Harden got a new dribble style, which made him much better. A lot of these cards are already getting improved SIGs and improved release, all these types of things. And I think that's going to continue to happen even to that next level with these dark matter cards, being able to get every single badge. All these dark matters will be able to do that, whereas only a few of these Galaxy Opals that they've been dropping have been able to get every badge. That's going to start happening with every dark matter. So these cards are going to become very desirable, very good, and it's going to cause the market for all these Galaxy Opal players to drop. So for right now, obviously my account personally, I don't really have a lot of auctionable cards. Penny Hardaway's super cheap, AK is already super cheap, and Marc Gasol is pretty cheap as well. So I don't really have a lot of cards to sell that have a lot of value, but guys who do have a lot of value right now, who may drop in price some, one of the guys that comes to mind for me is Scottie Pippen. He's over 200,000 MT right now as a base card. If we get a dark matter LeBron on Friday, which seems very likely, him or Giannis, one of those two guys seem very likely considering neither of them have gotten Galaxy Opals. Both are super hyped up names, sell a lot of packs in 2K, and LeBron specifically just broke the record for all-time scoring in the NBA last week and didn't get a card for it. So it makes perfect sense that he'd be in the first dark matters of the year to drop. We get cards like that that can play the small forward position. They're going to take away from the value of a guy like Scottie Pippen, who's currently one of the top small forward options in my team. Guys like Scottie Pippen could really drop in price and become a lot cheaper. So that's a guy you might want to consider selling really ASAP. Same thing with Carmelo. Super expensive, but could easily drop in price a lot if we get an elite small forward option for a dark matter. Same thing with point guards like Magic Johnson and Ben Simmons. Admittedly, these cards, these two guys specifically, as well as James Harden, are really the only three crazy elite cards at their position in my team, so they may not drop in price as much. But if we see a dark matter LaMelo Ball, or Cade Cunningham, or Jalen Rose, or Lonzo Ball, or somebody like that who has absolutely exceptional stats, elite SIGs, and maybe a changed release, you could see all these point guards lose value as well, become cheaper, and they're guys to consider also selling. Now, I'll say this about Yao Ming. Super packs came out this week. They didn't drop Yao Ming. I don't expect that any center that comes out will be better than a guy like Yao. And the other thing about the center position that's important to note is outside of Yao, there really aren't any super expensive centers in the game anymore. Guys like David Robinson, who came out in season 3, is a buyout. He's maybe the second or third best center in the game, and he's a buyout. The other guy who's a top 3 center in the game is Michael Olowokandi. He's free. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's a top center that a lot of people use, is just over 100,000 MT. Might be worth selling, to be fair, because of the fact that he may drop in price a bit if we do get a better card, but he's also kind of set in that Tim Thomas lock-in where people are locking in for Tim, who's still the best small forward in the game, although will he be the best small forward in the game if we get LeBron or somebody like that at small forward? Giannis, who can play that small forward position? Probably not anymore. But all these things are definitely things that are worth keeping in mind. Selling players who are top cards at their position who may very well drop in price is something that I would be strongly considering. It's not quite as applicable for the center position in my opinion, but for every other position, I think it's really, really applicable because we have a lot of expensive cards at a lot of these positions who are likely to drop in price. Another guy that I'm thinking of is Dirk. I would not be surprised to see a Galaxy Opal power forward again. If they drop a Giannis, Dirk's going to drop in price, plain and simple. He's not super expensive right now. He's actually cheaper than I anticipated, so maybe he doesn't drop as price as much, but it wouldn't shock me to see a lot of these cards become significantly cheaper because of the impending dark matters that are going to drop, and we don't know who those dark matters are going to be. It's not going to be Russell Westbrook. Last year we got a Russ, but it's not going to be him because we already have Russ in an event, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a point guard. It might be a guy like Steph Curry, and if Steph Curry drops, he's probably not going to be a top PG, but like I said, if they drop a tall PG, a Cade, a Lonzo, a LaMelo, a Jalen Rose, somebody like that for a dark matter, a Penny Hardaway even, one of those types of guys would really drop the point guard market relatively significantly in all likelihood. Same thing with the shooting guard position. We haven't seen a Galaxy Opal Kobe. You know who could get a Dark Matter? I know he was in the first Dark Matter drop last year, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him again. It'd be a Dark Matter Kobe. Kobe would drop that shooting guard market of guys like Vince Carter very significantly. Again, it overlaps with Scottie Pippen and Carmelo Anthony as well, the top auctionable shooting guards. It would drop all those guys' price as well if we saw ourselves a Dark Matter Kobe, a Dark Matter Michael Jordan, guys like that at the shooting guard position that maybe have changed SIGs, changed releases, all that stuff, and would then all of a sudden be the best card of their position, dropping all these cards' prices significantly. So it just really goes to show that at all of these positions, except for the center position, there's a really high percentage chance of getting a new best player in the game at that position who will drop the price significantly of all of these other cards. What that also means is they're going to be dropping a bunch of Galaxy Opals and Pink Diamonds that are still going to be great cards, but aren't going to be as hyped because they're not going to be the premier cards in the drop. So it's going to drop a bunch of other elite cards at other positions, great Galaxy Opals, probably some really good budget Pink Diamonds as well, who are going to be super cheap and super good, and they're going to continue to give you more options at these other positions, which is good for people who have MT because it's going to make their MT more worth more and give them more options, but it's going to continue to drop the value of Galaxy Opals and Pink Diamond players even more because of the fact that we now have Dark Matters, who are the main premier attractions, I guess you would say, out of these types of pack drops. So all I'm saying is I'm not a market expert. I'm not a sniper. I'm not any of those things. I don't really do a ton of market stuff, but I think this is one of those weeks where you might want to look into selling your best, your most expensive, your top tier players, simply because I think there's a really good chance that come Thursday night, really late, Friday, when these new cards come out, those players are all of a sudden 50,000 MT cheaper, 100,000 MT cheaper, significantly cheaper than they used to be. And I think it's really worth potentially considering selling a lot of those players to make yourself as much MT as possible. One other thing to consider is to make sure you are selling your badges this weekend. Badges are going to have more value. I don't have any badges right now because I've been selling all of mine except for Hall of Fame badges, which obviously are not auctionable, but badges are going to become more expensive this weekend simply because of 250k qualifiers, everybody trying to upgrade their cards as high as possible with badges and shoe boosts. So if you have badges and shoe boosts, those are going to go up in value versus everything else that goes down in value. So I would also highly recommend selling your badges and selling your shoe boosts this weekend, your diamond ones, especially the ones that are good, like three-pointer and speed and acceleration and lateral quickness and interior defense and block and driving dunk and all those things that are going to have value. They're going to have more value this weekend than they've had in previous weekends. My dog is barking. I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't show up too much in the mic, but I think it might be kind of loud. But yeah, with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. Just wanted to drop a quick video giving y'all some tips on the market and stuff like that. Just my thought process on this weekend, because it's definitely going to be an interesting weekend of content with 250k qualifiers coming up. Very likely to see Dark Matters for the first time this year as well in packs. So keep all that in mind. But with that being said, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.